Don't bring home a problem. Select healthy plants. This is key. I know sometimes you're tempted when you see that dollar table at the big box store. Oh, I can bring this home and I've saved $20. Well, have you really? You want to inspect your plants and don't be afraid to pick them up or pop them out of the container a little bit. Look for problems. If there's a lot of roots hanging out the bottom or you pull it and you can't even get it out of the pot, well, it's been growing in there for a long time. It's going to be really root bound and be very hard to get that plant to establish itself in your ground. It's going to be hard to get those roots to grow away from that container. You want to look at it and see, the roots are towards the edges of the pot, but not all going around in circles. You don't want that plant that's been there all summer long. Look at the roots. You want to see either white roots or tan roots. You don't want to see slimy roots or smelly, smell them. You don't want to smell anything because that means it's gotten too wet and there might be some disease there. It's rotted. You want nice fine network of healthy looking roots. So look at that. Look at the bark. Does it have something like this? Does it have a nick? Does it have a little split? Does it have a discoloration, a sunken area? Stay clear of that. That's probably a canker or some injury. And again, it's a point of entry for any sort of disease or something to come in. Don't take that one home. If you're getting a root ball type, feel it. Make sure it's all firm and solid. If you feel in the burlap, big pieces of roots hanging out, they're probably all dried out. That might not be your best thing. If it's a weird shape, I don't know, maybe they dropped it. You want to make sure you're not bringing home a problem. Okay, and this summer, this person planted about 4 bazillion Yoshino cryptomerias. Okay, cryptomerias get, I don't know, 40 feet tall? Where'd they plant them? Well, they're 2 feet from the road. This is out on 28 or 109, so geez, in 10 years, I guess I'm going to be bushwhacking my way to my house. And it's right under the power lines. So this is going to be a maintenance nightmare. They're going to be whacking these guys every which way, and they're just going to be these hideous green blobs in about, I don't know, 10, 15 years. Don't make that trouble. Pick the right plant. You want a crepe myrtle. Everyone was talking this morning about pruning your crepe myrtle, lobbing your crepe myrtle lollipops. Get the lower cultivar. Get the smaller one. There's a plant for you out there. Just find it. Don't make trouble. A lot of the trouble that you get in your yard, could have been prevented. You can trace it back to some cultural decision that you made that probably wasn't exactly the correct one. So steer clear of the trouble. Okay? Improper mulching. What is that? Ancient burial mound? I don't know. Don't do that. Plants are alive. They need oxygen. Roots need oxygen. If you heap mulch over and over again, up and up and up the bark, you're asking for all kinds of trouble. First of all, the roots are going to grow up into the mulch. Instead of growing down and getting nice and drought tolerant, it's going to grow up and get very drought prone because those roots are going to be right there at the surface. That could have been prevented. The other thing, you'll get a crust, especially with that shredded hardwood, and it all meshes together, and eventually nothing's going to get through there. No oxygen, no water. Water's just going to roll away. It won't be able to absorb any of the water when it rains. Don't do that. If it's up on the bark like that, you're going to get voles, borers, love to come right there at the soil or the mulch line, and they're drilling in there. You're just asking for trouble. Mulch was just intended to keep the roots cool, keep the moisture in. That's like 2 inches, 2 or 3, not 5, not 10. Don't over mulch. It can really, really hurt your trees. More horticultural homicide. Eric talked a little bit about pruning. Don't prune with dull tools. Nobody should be seeing this on their trees. And that was a nursery. Ooh, bad, bad, bad. Don't heap stuff on your trees. I see this all the time. This tree's going to be dead by next year, but a lot of times when they're doing construction, they put a little flag on the tree. Oh, we're going to save this. And then, for 10 months, there's soil all heaped up. Well, that tree's a goner. You've just suffocated all those roots. You can't heave, anything up on tree bark, and roots for a period of weeks and months. Trees are alive. You're going to suffocate it. It takes a long time for it to show it. It won't be till the builder's gone, but it's a goner. Don't heap things up. Don't leave stuff on. This should have come off a couple years before it made a canker on this poor tree. The tree's a goner only because the person forgot to take that stake off. You might want to stake something when you first plant it in a windy situation, but you do want to come back and take it off after that first growing year.